Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
We begin tonight in Corning, where some businesses are having trouble finding people to fill open positions. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst examines how prevalent the labor shortage is throughout the region.
Good evening, Ann. The Chemung County Chamber of Commerce tells me that businesses throughout the area are seeing positions go unfilled, leading to some frustration among managers and owners. It's a sign of the times. As COVID restrictions continue to ease, more businesses look to fill up open positions. However, Chemung Chamber of Commerce President Kamala Keeley says businesses have struggled to attract workers.
And it's, all level of jobs. It's, the lower paying jobs as well as jobs with, good benefits and a higher salary as well.
A good example could be seen at Cugini Italian Market in Corning, where they are so short-staffed the manager is assisting in the kitchen and wasn't able to go on camera for an interview. Keeley says a combination of increased unemployment benefits, lack of adequate childcare, and workers being more selective is causing labor shortages, leading to some frustration among business owners.
They want to get things back up and running the best that they can, and they're not able to do so because of the labor shortage.
Keeley says businesses she's spoken to are willing to be more flexible with wages and benefits in order to fill open positions.
Businesses have figured out in the last year how to operate with less employees or with a different kind of workflow, so I think they're more open to unique solutions at this time.
Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Pathways Incorporated will host a virtual fundraiser tomorrow evening. This year's theme, a virtual night at the Comedy Club. Families who log on to Zoom will be treated to an hour-long set from 3 members of the Wisecrackers Comedy Club. Stephanie Miller says the event will provide much-needed comic relief while benefiting the Irwin Child and Family Center.
But we think it'll be well worth the money to join us for an hour of fun and something a little bit lighter than probably we've had in the last year.
Registration for the event is $15. The program runs from 7 to 8 tomorrow night. For more information, you can head to Pathways website. Police in Elizabethtown, New York are searching for the culprits who vandalized dozens of graves. The cemetery is the final resting place for numerous veterans, some even from the Revolutionary War. Brandon Menard reports.
Last week, when Elizabethtown workers went to inspect the Boquet Cemetery, they found dozens of headstones were knocked over or broken.
The feedback that I have had as town supervisor as this word gets out of the damage that was incurred here this week is heartbreak, outrage, hostility, being so close to Memorial Day.
Town Supervisor Noel Merrihew says between 50 and 70 headstones have been damaged, including the final resting places of some hometown heroes. If the culprits aren't found, the burden to fix the damage could fall on the taxpayers.
The cost of each individual headstone is phenomenally expensive. I have no idea, but looking around today, I know it'll be in the tens of thousands of dollars, not to make it perfect, but just to try to put it back to some semblance of order.
Community members in Elizabethtown can't believe this happened.
How could you do that to somebody who fought in the American Revolution to gain American independence and just take the Bronze Star on it and throw it in the woods? We just keep thinking, what kind of anger do people have that they would do this?
Now they're stepping up and offering a reward to find out who did it.
People are really upset because it is a very beautiful and very historic site here. And the community's come together to offer a reward of money. I've heard over $1,000 or more, depending on how many people want to donate.
Anyone with information is asked to call the New York State Police.
2 police officers in New York City are being called heroes after rescuing a man who had fallen onto subway tracks. A medical episode had rendered him unconscious, and a train was coming. Derek Waller has video of what happened next.
2 police officers just happened to be standing on this platform when a man fell onto these train tracks, a train fast approaching.
At that point, I kind of had to do something to get him also out of danger.
That's when officers Chris Cerny and Gary Lamore jumped into action Sunday at the 14th Street ACE station.
Myself and Officer Lamore were doing a station inspection right downstairs. We were alerted by the MTA booth clerk that a aided had fallen to the track bed on the northbound platform.
Police body camera video the NYPD posted on social media shows that man unconscious, laying in the track bed with an uptown train approaching. Officer Lamore used his flashlight to stop the oncoming train.
You would have to have a flashlight, and you would signal from left to right, right to left. And once the train conductor would see a light that's going from left to right, that signal means for the train to stop.
It worked, and the two 10-year veterans pulled the man to safety, putting themselves in harm's way to save a man's life.
I guess, that's when the training and, experience kind of takes over, and, you have to do what obviously you think is right.
And so after going to the hospital, police did try to later contact that man. They were unsuccessful, but at last check, he was conscious, alert, and most importantly, alive. Reporting from Chelsea, I'm Derek Waller, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott signing a so-called heartbeat ban abortion bill into law today. The law requires abortion providers to check for a fetal heartbeat before performing the procedure. If one is detected, they cannot proceed unless there's a medical emergency. Fetal heartbeats can occur as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy, which is before many women realize they're pregnant. Texas's law does not make exceptions for cases of rape or incest. A group of progressive House Democrats is working to block an arms sale to Israel. That sale involves $735 million worth of precision-guided weapons. The Biden administration reportedly notified Congress of the sale before violence between Israel and Hamas erupted recently, which has made the sale more controversial than usual. Objections to the sale are unlikely to go anywhere because countries like Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and Israel undergo an expedited review process for arms sales. That process is scheduled to end today, making it too late to intervene. The sale also represents a fragment of U.S. military support to Israel. The U.S. is committed to provide $38 billion in military aid to Israel between 2019 and 2028. A California family met with investigators for hours on Tuesday after months of expressing frustration about the search for a 40-year-old mother who went missing in January. The family said police had not been keeping them updated about the case. As Vanessa Van Hyft reports, the family now has more faith in what police are doing.
Now we don't be left in the dark. So that's what they promised us. There are going to be more open communication with them, and it'll be a teamwork.
Mary Chris and Richard Drulier say they feel relief after meeting with detectives this morning here at the Chula Vista Police Department.
We have a really confidence with the investigation now. It gives us an eye-opening. Now we know where they're at, and that they are working on the case.
The interview room's Chris McDonald served as a liaison between the family and police.
It opened the door for us to be able to step into the police department and be able to accomplish this meeting. So they did help us a lot.
Maya's sister says the family has felt frustration with the detectives for months, saying police weren't giving them updates they needed to hear. The couple admitted many details discussed today couldn't be revealed to the public, specifically details about the 2 search warrants issued at the Millietes' home that Maya shares with her husband Larry and 3 kids. They also told us they couldn't reveal information on the gun violence restraining order against Larry Milliete.
There's a lot of things we can't say about it, but yeah, it was a detailed, more enhanced search warrant.
But what they can say, they feel confident in police now, and they won't stop looking for Maya.
Not done looking until we find Maya. I think we still be asking the community support more than ever, because we haven't found her yet.
Dust off your passports. The EU is taking a major step today to make a European getaway a real possibility for this summer. But as Camila Bronal reports, it is likely only available for travelers who are vaccinated.
The European Union finally opening its borders after almost a year of closures.
There will not be a full recovery of the economy without recovery of travel.
And there's still a lot of work to be done after difficult months for those in the business in the U.S. and abroad.
For the travel industry, the pandemic remains akin to a Category 5 hurricane.
But there is light at the end of the tunnel. The EU agreeing to allow entry to vaccinated travelers from countries with low infection rates. And while exact rules by EU member states are being decided, officials are optimistic that they'll go into effect in June, just in time for a summer vacation.
Obviously, the pent-up demand is real. Right now, travel is being driven by policy. You take something away from human beings that they took for granted, and it's going to turbocharge.
A formal adaptation of the EU recommendations is expected on Thursday, but many also asking officials in the U.S. for less restrictions.
The State Department and CDC have painted most international destinations with red warning tape, even though the CDC issued new guidance that masking is not needed for the fully vaccinated.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Still ahead tonight, disturbing video out of Florida showing the moments a man tried to abduct an 11-year-old girl from a bus stop at knife point. The whole incident caught on camera.
And she fought until finally she was able to break free.
Watch the heroic actions of the child and how she was able to break free from the attempted kidnapper.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Your Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. Heading into tonight, temperatures will cool down quite rapidly into the low 50s. That's what we're going to start off with tomorrow. Expect mainly clear conditions for tonight. However, clouds will start to increase during the day, and we are going to see an unseasonably warm day with temperatures about 10 degrees above normal. And this is all due to high pressure system that's now located in the Atlantic. It will continue to send south winds into our area, and it is going to increase our humidity level as well. There is the possibility of an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. Just keep that in mind if you're going to be doing any yard work for tomorrow. Temperature readings around 78 degrees by 10 o'clock. Again, there could be an isolated thunderstorm in the mid-afternoon hours, but we do manage to warm up to around 83 degrees and then dropping down to around 78 with a mostly cloudy sky by 6 o'clock in the evening. So let's take a look at our future radar. We do have a disturbance that will come through in the afternoon, especially with the heating of the day. There could be a few thunderstorms that could pop up. So notice clouds will start to increase in the afternoon. There could be 1 or 2 showers that pop up. But overall, I think most of our hometowns will stay dry. And that's going to be the situation for your Friday as well. We're going to start off with some sunshine, and then clouds really start to thicken up by the end of the day. And some of these clouds could produce a few showers and a few thunderstorms, especially if you give the heat into it, the fuel for many of these thunderstorms. And so there could be a few thunderstorms in the afternoon for your Friday. But I think our best chances of rain will come over the weekend. And this comes with a stronger cold front that will be diving right over the Twin Tiers. Behind it, cooler air will start to settle in. And so we're going to have to say goodbye to the 80s by next week and hello to rain chances as we head into your Sunday. But here's a look at your forecast. Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies, lows around 53 degrees in Elmira, 54 degrees in Corning. Highs tomorrow around 83 degrees in Elmira and also in Corning. A stray thunderstorm in the afternoon could also be possible. We warm up to around 85 degrees on your Friday with partly cloudy skies. Again, there is the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon, especially because all this heat will allow for these thunderstorms to develop. A little bit drier conditions on Saturday. I think we'll see some sunshine. It won't be quite as warm, 80 for a high and then 82 degrees on Sunday. That's when their cold front will arrive, resulting in cooler conditions on Monday with the high around 71 degrees. We'll be a little bit closer to normal by the middle of the week with highs in the mid to upper 70s.
CDC numbers show new COVID-19 case rates in the U.S. are down across the U.S., causing cautious optimism among top U.S. health officials. But they say the key to keep us going in the right direction may fall on young Americans. Mandy Gaither has a look at where we stand in our fight against the coronavirus in today's Health Minute.
In the war against COVID-19, some good news. For the first time since the pandemic began, COVID cases are down in all 50 states.
Top U.S. health officials say vaccines have led to a dramatic decline in cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. That progress putting us on a path out of this pandemic.
We should all have cautious optimism. Cases have continued to decrease and have not been this low since spring of last year.
But the key to keep us going in the right direction may lie with young Americans.
We are winning the war on the virus, and we need you to help us finish the job. My message to young people, of course, is simple. Get vaccinated.
More than a week ago, the FDA gave emergency use authorization for the Pfizer vaccine in those as young as 12. Since then, the CDC says more than 600,000 12 to 15-year-olds have had at least one dose of the vaccine, but the numbers show vaccination rates in general were lower in rural areas.
This was true for counties across the country, across all age groups, and among men and women.
Officials say they're continuing to work to narrow the differences and make sure vaccine coverage is equitable regardless of where you live.
If you haven't yet been vaccinated, perhaps you will consider being our reason to celebrate one more.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
An 11-year-old girl was alone at a bus stop near Pensacola, Florida on Tuesday when a man tried to grab her. Surveillance video shows she fought and was able to get free. Kelsey Coffey reports.
The video is horrifying. An 11-year-old girl waits alone for a school bus when a man darts out of this white van straight for her. Armed with a knife, he wrestled with the girl.
She fought and she fought and she fought until finally she was able to break free.
But she fights back and gets away.
It doesn't take a genius to figure out what his intentions were, but they were not good. So a life was saved.
The attack unfolding at this bus stop on Old Quarry Field Road and Perdido Street around 7 Tuesday morning.
We inundated the area with law enforcement.
More than 50 deputies scoured the neighborhood, and within 8 hours,
we have caught the animal that tried to kidnap an 11-year-old girl this morning.
Sheriff Chip Simmons says the tag number on the van led deputies to this home on Betty Road. They found the van and this man, Jared Stanga, who they believe is responsible for the attack. The sheriff says the van's bumper, which was originally described to be silver, had fresh black paint. And the 30-year-old Stanga had blue slime still stuck on his clothes and body. The girl was playing with blue slime at the time of the attempted kidnapping.
You saw the blue goo. The slime that's on the suspect that the victim had. You're not kidding anyone. We know who you are. We know you're an animal. And we also know you're under arrest.
And this may not have been this man's first attempt. About 2 weeks ago, the 11-year-old says this same man approached her here and made her feel uncomfortable. She reported it immediately to her school.
Did the school contact you guys? Did the family contact y'all?
This is the first that we heard about that today.
The sheriff says now's the time to send this message about safety to all kids.
Fight, fight, fight. Like your life depends on it.
And the sheriff's message for the girl who fought her way to freedom?
You have gone through something that fortunately no one should have to go through. And very few do have to go through. My message to her is that she's my hero.
An 8-year-old girl from Las Vegas is running a mile at different tracks in various states, all to honor police and military dogs who have died in the line of duty. Erica Bratton reports.
Salinas patrol cars escorted Teresa Ann and her family to Hartnell College track. There to cheer her on, a group of local first responders and special guest K-9 Officer Oakley. This afternoon's run is to represent officers' four-legged partners in crime, like Oakley.
He's met Teresa, I think, 3 times now. She's a very public figure here in Salinas. She travels here quite often, even though she lives in Nevada. So she is around a lot, and every time she's out here, she tries to say hi to Oakley.
It's part of a national organization, Running for Heroes, which represents fallen officers, firefighters, and soldiers. But Teresa Ann wanted to represent a different kind of hero, and one just as important.
Because I want to run for all the canines lost, because they don't get recognized as much as police do.
Salinas was her California stop and second run. Her first run was in Nevada. The ultimate goal?
She decided that she wants to do a mile for each canine that is lost in the line of duty, and we're going to do every state. She wants to run at least 1 mile in each state.
Teresa Ann's father said she's been supporting officers since she was 3 years old. She has visited 24 police stations throughout California and another 13 stations in Texas. The Lemonade Stand raised $19,000 in the 4 years she operated it.
She just validates us, our work, and most importantly, the memory of those that have given the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty.
With 1 lap left, officers cheering her on joined her. At the finish line, the flag Teresa Ann was running with the entire time was presented to the Salinas police chief. The inspiring young girl has a busy summer ahead from here on out. Her next stop will be June 5th in Texas, where she'll run another mile and give away a canine vest to a handler.
Peloton is rolling out a software update to its treadmills that forces users to lock them when not in use. The automatic update comes after the company recalled 125,000 treadmills earlier this month following a child's death. 70 other injuries tied to the machines had been reported. The new software includes a feature called Tread Lock. It requires users to enter a 4-digit code before the treadmill can be used. Owners are also allowed to return the treadmills for refunds if they like. Those refunds are expected to cost the company some $50 million in addition to the $165 million loss Peloton has already faced from the recall. We're getting a first look at the completely redesigned Android 12. Google announced the Android overhaul at its annual developer conference this week. Android 12, the latest version of Google's mobile operating system, features bigger buttons, muted pastel colors. It also has a large home screen clock that changes size depending on how many notifications appear. The revamped Android has a lot of personalization options, such as a higher degree of user control over the color palette. This year's co-valedictorians at a Milwaukee high school have a lot in common, like their birthdays and their parents. They're twins, and they tied each other with the same grade point averages. James Groh asked them, so who's the smarter twin?
Me. I am. I'm always co-valedictorian.
Meet Berlin and Brennan Wells, twins and co-valedictorians at Carmen High School of Science and Technology, Northwest.
I'm not complaining. Oh, it just makes it that much better, though. Like, both twins, both getting co-valedictorian.
They both have 4.0 GPAs and are staying in Milwaukee for college. Brennan is going to the Milwaukee School of Engineering for computer science, and Berlin will go to UW Milwaukee for biomedical sciences. They gave each other antiderivative equations, something you'd see in a college calculus class, to solve while I filmed. I could not verify if what they were doing was right, but they seemed content with each other's work.
I'm on it. More than you are. Yes, I am.
The two studied hard to get to this point, but learning virtually for nearly a year and a half made things a lot more difficult.
You get really get distracted from a phone or a TV or anything, but it's like, if you know you could do it, just get it done.
Even though they can get competitive and don't agree on who the true valedictorian is,
yeah, he'll come up to me and be like, I'm taller than you.
It's all love between the two.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. A magical moment for some guests at the most magical place on earth. A zebra gave birth in front of visitors to a baby boy at Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom. The newborn was born on May 17th, weighing 65 pounds. Guests riding the theme park's Kilimanjaro safaris witnessed the birth. It is the first zebra born at the Animal Kingdom this year. Mom Heidi and her son will join the Animal Kingdom's zebra herd in a few weeks. From our whole team, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great night.